So, just looking or viewing a potential HMO now. Just had a look through the front windows. Now, at the moment, it is a 3 bed end terrace, quite a large terrace, but it looks like it's had a very shoddy refurb. So, considerations when you're looking at HMOs: is it an Article 4 area? No, it isn't. I'll tell you what, I'll head over here actually. Is it an Article 4 area? No, it isn't. Are there any of the HMOs in the area? Yes, speaking to one of our housing association contacts, there's about 7 or 8 within a quarter of a mile from here. So again, it will go through, but just because it can be a HMO doesn't mean it necessarily is a good deal. So it's on at 160 this. Now, if you're doing rough maths there, you're going to be silly paying the full asking price, especially looking at some of the stuff they've done there. That's 160. So 25% of that is at 40,000. Stamp duty for second property about 8,000, something like that. Legals 2,000. So you're already 50,000 into it. However, like what we mentioned to our mentees, it's about that return on capital employed. So what's going to be the refinance value for that property? So again, round here there are certain limits to it, definitely. However, there are a couple of nice houses, but it's on a very busy road, as you can probably hear. What I'll probably do is, after I've spoken to the agent, I will probably do another quick video back in the car of obviously my thoughts. So, like I said, it's 3 bed. It could potentially be easily be a 4, potentially be a 5. We'll have to just see what the state of the property is like inside. It looks like they just whitewashed everything, put new carpets in. But again, if you know what you're looking for, you know that could just be hiding lots of things. So always get a survey done on your properties, okay? Especially when you're putting offers in, make sure that you're putting offers in that says subject to survey. And then if it does come back anything negative, just obviously use that as a bargaining thing. So keep taking steps further forward, and I will do a second video soon. Good luck. Part 2. So just got back now from looking at the property. You can still see the corner of it here. Met a lovely lady there, lovely viewing agent, fantastic. She seemed like a really nice lady. Confirmed this morning to check that we were still attending. Yes, obviously we are, and so on. So just quick maths now. Now, I like to do things old school to make sure all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted and so on. So this property now is up for 165. Now, can it be turned into a HMO? Yes, it can. Is it going to be forced to be turned into a HMO? By that, I mean, are we going to be spending too much to get not that much of a return back? So the existing landlord, or should I say the existing owner, has whitewashed the entire property, put new carpets in. However, it takes a lot more than whitewashing a property and putting new carpets in to make the property look new. So, the kitchen still needs a bit of work and so on. As you're going up throughout the house, it's all old woodwork throughout. So, the existing skirting boards, internal doors, there were 2 internal doors missing, one on the bathroom, one on the back bedroom. Downstairs, as soon as you walk into the vestibule, you've got the main copper pipe there, feed going up to the boiler in the upstairs bedroom. So again, there's lots of things that look good on that property when you're looking at it on a piece of paper, when you're looking at it on, must have been Rightmove, this or so on. But you only attend viewings based on the fact that it's past your preliminary, I can't even say that word, based on the fact that it's past your initial checks, really. So from that now, if it's up for 165, actually, I said it was up for 160. So if you're going to get it at 160, 25% deposit, again, you're probably £40,000 into it then. Stamp duty for second property, about 8,000. Don't quote me on these figures. Cap your legals at 2,000. So then you're into it for 50,000 already. Plus then what level of survey you're going to get. So let's, allocate another £500 there for a survey. Definitely get a survey. Again, if it comes back negative, fantastic. It could be used as a bargaining tool, or it should be used as a bargaining tool if you're serious about putting in an offer. But yeah, looking at this property here though, you can see the footprint at the bottom there. The front reception room, dividing wall there to create your first bedroom, easy. Then you've got the back or the second reception room. That's your communal area. You've then got the kitchen at the back as well. You might need to knock through there and put in a little steel so it's opened up a lot more between like a kitchen and a diner. But yeah, I don't think that's a goer really. at 165, based on how much you'd need to spend on that, that's, you know, you've got the £1,500 additional licensing fee that the local area charges. Now, in my mind, again, that's not a lot considering it lasts for 5 years, which works out at about £300 per year. Divide it by, 50 weeks. What's that? £6 a week or there or thereabouts. I'd be looking at that as a price for entry in order to make that a lot more profitable. So, if you were to turn it into a HMO, could it then be returned, or if, for instance, they wouldn't allow it, is it easily converted back to a normal property AST? Of course it is. So it'll rent out there as a current 3 bedroom in the condition it's in at the moment for probably about 900. If you were going to spend a lot on it, and again, this is where you need to know the maths and so on, by making sure that obviously you're going to give it a new skim coat throughout, definitely new internal doors, probably a new kitchen, maybe try and salvage some of the bathroom. You probably earn £20,000 into it then. I haven't even mentioned the roof. The roof, obviously, the ridge line doesn't really look the best. It's still got a chimney where lots of the others on that same road don't have a chimney. So there's many factors. Now, if you're to do all of that, and then you're doing the BRRR strategy, fantastic, try and pull lots of money out, without going too deep into the figures, you're definitely not going to be pulling all your money out. You're probably going to be leaving quite a considerable amount of money in that deal. So then again, think about the opportunities cost. I think what I'm trying to explain with this video is, property is fantastic. It creates that passive income. It allows you to build your wealth slow and steady, brilliant. But at the same time, don't be chasing things thinking, right, that's within my budget. I can convert it to a HMO. Fantastic. Let's go for it. Let's get it into a 5 bed, and it's going to be, I'll just turn it here. Don't want the kids on the camera, do we? There's going to be 5 beds. That's £400 per. That's £2,000 per calendar month. However, we've got to take into consideration lots of other factors, really. So I think at the moment now, again, I don't really get excited about any of these properties unless it's an absolute gold mine. I don't think that's one for us because I know how much really is hidden in there that you'll need to spend to bring it up to a half decent standard. Just a quick one about room sizes, though. Again, this area follows pretty much like for like the national guidelines on HMOs, so 6.51 I think it is per single room. The footprint on here was